Hi friends, this is Angela, the Inquisitive Farmwife. If this is your first time here, I'm so excited to see you all. We're just going to have a little chit chat. I'll throw in some pictures here and there, some things I'm going to share. But can you believe it has been 1 week now since we have started 2024? Wow, it's going by fast already. Seems like the older I get, the faster these things happen. Well, I am participating in a collaboration that is open to anyone to participate, both on YouTube and Instagram. And it is put on by Jessica over at Three Rivers Homestead. It's the Three Rivers Pantry Challenge. So, you might remember back in August when so many of us participated in the Every Bit Counts challenge that she has. Well, now, all that food that we had preserved and put up for winter, we're going to use it. So that means we're not going to go to the grocery store. Well, each person gets to set their own rules of what they want to do. For example, some may decide they don't want to go an entire 1 to 2 months without dairy. And so they are allowing themselves so many times or so much money or whatever rule they want to make to not go get dairy. Well, I'm a dairy farmer, so I don't have to worry about that. My goal is for at least the month of January, I'm going to cook from scratch at home as much as possible. So let's go see what I got done this week. So if you remember last week, we made those dips from Anderson Food, and I told you that if there was leftovers, I was going to do some delicious things. Well, I did those eggs for breakfast, and they were a huge hit. What I did is I just took some plain toast, I slathered on the Green Goddess dip mix, and then I had some Sunnyside eggs that I sprinkled with Parmesan cheese and added just a little bit of hot sauce. The next day I made cheeseburgers. So the hamburger comes from my backyard. We grew that ourselves and had it processed this summer. And then the buns were just something I had in the bread box that I had purchased previously, so this was a good way to use both of those items. That's my grandma's apple cake recipe, and I'm so excited to share that with you, so you can look forward to that video sometime in the future. We have enjoyed nibbling on this as snacks. We've used it for breakfast and desserts. It's just good for anything. And then the following day, I took some more of that Anderson House dips. Remember how I told you I wanted to make taquitos? Well, that's exactly what we're doing now. This was really kind of a fun project where I just took the leftovers, and in my freezer, I had some whole wheat flour tortillas. I would tell you that maybe next time I would use the white flour tortillas, and I would probably use a different size because I kind of had a difficult time when I went to make them. They ended up really fatter than the ones you would get from, you know, your gas stations. But that's okay. It worked really, really good. We enjoyed them. My husband doesn't like chicken, so what I did is I had a little bit of leftover cheese sauce, cheese dip, and we had some pre-crumbled sausage in the refrigerator that needed used, and so I went ahead and did that, and I made like a taquita for him with that, and I threw on a little hot sauce to give it a little extra kick, and he said it wasn't bad. Probably not something I'll repeat again, but it made a nice lunch anyway. Now the chicken taquitas, we would definitely eat that again. So with the new year, I also started this new Amish friendship bread starter recipe with my friend Renee over at Pike Creek Farm. And the first recipe that we make is usually the cinnamon bread. And I did that. I didn't record it, but we enjoyed that for snacks and breakfast. Another fun, quick little project I made was flan. I found a box mix in my cabinet, and we have an abundance of milk, so that was a fun thing to have. And then for this meal was a new tuna casserole, which I have a video out on that, with just a can of home canned carrots that I had made. And speaking of home canned items, Last September, I made this spicy lentil soup, and so I grabbed myself a couple jars of those, and then we also had some of that sausage. Remember that from earlier in the week? It needed to get used. We didn't make the meals that we thought we would out of it, so I thought I'll add that to this soup, and the boys really enjoyed having that. And here it's time to work with the Amish Friendship Bread Starter again. I decided to try to make some pizza dough, and we had a great time making a dessert pizza, which was amazing, and some pizza pockets. We did decide that we wanted to go ahead and put them in the air fryer and toast them up just a little bit further. And this is homegrown lettuce in my kitchen. That's a video for another day too. So this is my experimental casserole, which we ended up absolutely loving, and you can see more about that in yesterday's video. And then the last of the Amish Friendship Starter ended up in banana bread. Again, great snacks and breakfast. So the last meal of the week ended up being basically a dump soup. I had a couple recipes in mind. I ended up using neither one of them, but I used some store-bought and some home-canned items, along with our fresh beef. And so it was a hit with the family. I added some pasta to it to stretch it out a little further, and we had just enough for today's lunch. I hope that you enjoyed what I had to share with you, and I look forward to all the different things that I get to make next week. We'll see you back then, and until then, I'll have plenty of other videos of other content sharing with you. I love to can. I love to cook from scratch. I do freeze drying, dehydrating. I take care of my animals. You just never know what kind of things you'll see here on the channel. So stick around, folks. Bye for now.